Hi, good day to everyone. Again, welcome to session 2 of part 2 exercise of construction project planning and control management on how to establish or develop a new project specific to project setups to include user preferences, admin preferences, admin categories, currencies, financial periods, and project details. Prior to moving further, it is a bit advantageous to have a quick review of project setups. Now let's shift to P6 and start reviewing project setups. Now here is in front of us is the P6 screen showing the activity window. Let me introduce to you first the basic parts of this window. This area here is the activity table, and this area here is the activity Gantt chart, where it appears if the activity is present. And at the bottom, here in this area, is the activity details. Now let's open our project, the one we created previously. So we will go to enterprise and then project. So now we can see our project here with the EPS level 1. This is the EPS level 2, and this is our project itself. Okay, let's start with the user preferences. So let's go to edit, user preferences, and we will go to time units. The units format for the unit of time is hour, that's fine. The duration format, unit of time is day, that is also fine. But take note, for turnaround projects where activity durations are considerably less than a day, using hour duration unit of time is a must. Now let's go to currency. We will put this for us in day because our project is not a turnaround project. Now we will go to currency. Okay. We will change this to US dollar. Take note, the options here for currencies will be available only if it is already defined in the admin setup, which we will take up after we are done here. Okay. So let's close. We will go to email and leave it as is. We will go to assistance and leave it as is. Application. Activities, application startup window, activities, that's fine. Show name, description. This is my choice. If you add this one, the show ID and code, it is also acceptable, but for me, I prefer only this to show the name and description. So we will remove this. Now we will go to select financial periods to view in columns. For now, this is not so necessary because we have nothing to report or view yet. For our program is still in the process of development. But let me explain what is financial period. Financial period is the period where performance or actuals are intended to be recorded or stored after a specific period progress update. That is to be able to track previous actual values, earned values, and planned values up to the data date or current date. This is also required for P6 store period performance feature. These dates will only be available here if the financial periods are already set in the admin setup, which we will take up after we are done here. So we are done with the user preferences. Let's proceed to the admin preferences. Let's close this one. Then we will select admin and then users. Actually, we can add more users if we want, but let's leave it as is. So we will close and move to admin preferences. So we'll go to general. For me, this looks good. We will go to data limits. We will encounter all these items here later as we move further, and we will explain each accordingly. The default limits are 20, but we have the option to change or modify it from time to time. So let's leave it as is. We will go to ideal lengths. We will also encounter these items here later as we move forward, and we will explain each accordingly also. The default limit here is also 20, but we have the options also to change or modify each from time to time. Now we will go to time periods. Let's set 8 hours per day, 40 hours per week, considering 5 days in a week, 160 hours per month, considering 4 weeks in a month, and 1920 hours per year, considering 12 months in a year. While the abbreviations here, for me, it looks acceptable. Now we will move to earn value. I think let's leave this as is for now. We will elaborate this in detail when we are prepared in our first progress update report. So we'll go to reports. Leave it as is also. We can create our own report format later. Rate types. For me, there is no issue. Industry. Of course, engineering and construction. So now we're done. Let's close and proceed to admin categories. Close and then proceed to admin categories. Baseline types. For me, it's fair enough. Expense categories. Fair enough. WBS categories, fair. Document categories, fair. Document status, fair. Risk categories, fair. Notebook topics, fair enough. Units of measure, fair enough. We can do the modification, but for now, let's leave it as is, and we will make changes later if needed. So let's close and move to currencies. Okay. As I mentioned earlier, these are the available options for the selection of currency in the user preferences. In here, we can choose our base currency with the default in US dollar. We can add another currency if we cannot find the currency we wish to use. And we can also modify the currency ID, name, format, and the appearances we wish to see. So, okay, let's close and proceed to financial period. So here we are. Also, as I mentioned earlier, these are the available options for the selection of financial periods in the user preferences. Here, we can add more financial periods depending to project duration. So in the case of our exercise, our project start 1 June 2022 and to be completed on 28 March 2023. And if we will assume we decided to use the monthly interval financial period, we need to set the financial period to every 1 month. So it is here. So we will select here, put this one. And looking at the displayed financial periods, June 22 to the month of January 23 are already set here. So we just need to add for the month of February 2023 to March 2023. So here's how to do it. Highlight the last financial period and then click add. Now it appears here 1 February 2023 and 28 February 2023. So it's okay. Select and then add. So if you look at, we will close it, and then if you look at the bottom, the February 2023 is already added. So we will add more for March. So it appears here March 2023 and March 28 March 2023. So the day is, I think, is lacking. So we will have set it into 31st of March and then click add, then close. So I think we are done here. So we will proceed to project details. So we will close. Now the first thing to do is we will highlight our project. And at the bottom here, we can see the project details. So we will start from the general. For me, there is no issue. Let's leave it as is. We will go to notebook. It is blank. Budget blank. It is blank. Spending plan. It is blank. Budget summary. Mostly blank. Funding is also blank. Okay, let's leave these 5 items as is, and we will take up this later. Now we will go to dates. Now, if you can see, the planned and the data dates are correct. But take note, Data date is the date when the project remaining activities start. So it is the same as the plan start because we have not started updating the project yet. Codes, it is empty, but it will be populated as we added elements in our project. Defaults, we can leave it as is and let's address it individually by activity when we have already the complete activities added in our project. Resource. Okay, let's remove the duplication of resource assignment. So we will move to settings. Okay, we will leave it as is. We can do the modification later as needed. And the last is calculations. Leave it as is also. It will be updated later when our project is populated with complete activities, resources, and cost. So I think we have to end our part 2 session here. I mean part 2, session 2 here. Thank you for watching. I'll be happy if you enjoyed in this presentation, and I'll appreciate very much if you click like, subscribe, and share. Our topic is getting more exciting, so don't miss to watch part 2, session 3 of this exercise, specific to adding activities for the new project. And God bless everyone.